Hey guys, Stephen Cox here, and today I'm coming at you from Uke Republic, and we are looking at the Flight Mini Bass in transparent blue. So if you like videos like these, please hit subscribe below and check out ukerepublic.com if you're interested in this or any of their other U-basses, or ukuleles if you're into that sort of thing as well. So first, let's talk about the specs of the Flight Mini Bass. The top is made of quilted maple. The body is solid mahogany. The bridge is a hardtail fixed bridge, and it's adjustable, so if the intonation needs adjustments, you can do that. The string gauges are from thin to thick, 0.045, 0.065, 0.085, and 0.105. And those string gauges were in inches. The neck is made of roasted maple. The fretboard is made of rosewood. The nut is made of bone. The nut width is 40 millimeters. The pickups are two Alnico 5 P-style pickups, and the volume and tone knobs are chrome. The scale length of this instrument is around 23 inches. When we measured, we kind of came between 22 and 23 inches. So there's a little bit of differing things online, but that's kind of the consensus. So now let's talk about the pros of this bass. One thing that I like is that it has metal strings that have a metal core. So when you're bending notes and sliding around, it feels very much like an electric bass. Not as much like a U bass. So when you go to bend strings on the nylon core metal strings on a U bass, sometimes the strings roll when you're bending them, and these don't do that at all, and I think that's because they have a metal core. The scale length of 22 to 23 inches, it's somewhere in that range, is kind of nice because it's just a little bit longer than a U bass, but it's still very short scale, much shorter scale than the typical short scale basses. So this means it's easy to travel with, but it's still big enough to feel kind of comfortable. This bass has magnetic pickups, so if you're used to electric bass, this is a good thing because it'll have less string noise than the piezo pickups that are on the traditional U bass kind of thing. So these are more like electric bass pickups rather than U bass pickups because they're picking up the signal through the air with the magnet rather than through the vibration of the solid. You're getting a little bit less of that string noise. And so an interesting thing about this bass is that it has a little bit of a radius on the neck, and I'm not sure if it's because of that or the string length or what, but when you go to bend the strings, you can bend them very far with little effort. So I found that I could bend a note to sound like the note almost 4 frets ahead of it. It doesn't take as much effort to do half-step bends or whole-step bends, and you can bend a lot further than you can on a full-scale electric or even on a bass ukulele. The bridge being adjustable is nice because there were definitely some intonation issues on this particular bass, and I'm sure that if you tweak it enough, you can work those out. What I noticed was it was kind of out of tune by the 12th fret, and I got Mike to work on it a little bit to try to fix that. But if you're not playing above the 7th fret, the intonation will probably be fine, and you probably won't have to worry about this. But if you're going above the 7th fret, you may have to tinker with the bridge to get the intonation right. Another advantage about this bass is that it has 22 frets, so you can play most things written for an electric bass, where a lot of bass ukuleles only have 16 frets. This allows you to go up if certain parts slide past the 16th fret on the G string. You'll have the notes to be able to play, although they do get a little bit thin and metallic sounding at the very top, the 21st and 2nd fret. And then a really big, obvious pro of this bass is the way it looks. It's a very unique finish that kind of reminds you of the ocean floor, so if you like those beach vibes, it's really cool looking. And then in addition to that, the woods they use, the roasted maple, rosewood, and quilted maple, and solid mahogany, all on this one bass, are pretty cool, and they're pretty good quality woods. Another pro of this bass is that it comes with a really nice padded gig bag, and in that padded gig bag you get a tuner. You also get a cord to plug it into an amp, so an amp cable. Then you also get an Allen key to adjust the truss rod if you need it, and probably for the bridge as well. So now let's talk about the cons of the Flight Mini Bass. The first thing I noticed when I was testing the intonation, at the 12th fret, the bass was almost a quarter step sharp on every single string. Now, I'm not sure that if this was just this instrument or if all of them come like that, but it would take some work tinkering with the adjustments on the bridge to fix this intonation issue. And I got Mike to work on it a little bit, and he was able to help the issue, but not completely solve it. So I'm not sure if that was just this particular instrument or if all the instruments have a little bit of an intonation issue. And I'm not sure that if more time would completely fix this issue or not. However, if you stay on the lower frets, meaning anything from open to about the 7th fret, this issue won't affect you at all. The next con comes from the strings bending so easily. Basically, when you push a note down, you have to be very careful to push right into the fretboard, but most basses and U basses are a little forgiving that if you push at a slight angle, the note won't go very far out of tune. But on this instrument, due to the strings bending so easily, the notes will go sharp much easier. So you just have to be careful not to push down at an angle at all. It's not as forgiving as most basses are. So the mini bass has completely metal strings, including the core, and these strings have a lot of tension. So coming from an electric bass, you'll have no problem because you'll be used to this style string and playing on it will feel comfortable. However, if you're coming from a bass ukulele, with either polyurethane strings or the metal ones that have a nylon core, you might notice it's a little bit harder to push these strings down. So it's not a big con, but for those that are playing a smaller bass due to it being easier to play, you may still have to push down harder. So the last con of the Flight Mini Bass will really only affect bass ukulele players that prefer polyurethane strings. The strings on this bass need to be metal due to the magnetic pickup, which picks up the vibration of the metal strings through the air. Bass ukuleles rely on a different type of pickup called a piezo pickup that picks the vibration up directly through the solid bridge and translates that to a signal. So due to this difference, the strings need to be metal. Alright guys, that's it for the review of the Flight Mini Bass in Transparent Blue. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please check out the other reviews that I've done and visit Uke Republic if you would like one of these or any of the other bass ukuleles that they have in stock. I will see you guys next time, and once again, if you like this video, please subscribe below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next video.